Hey, I'm Rita.
And I'm Leigh.
And welcome to the Me For Her podcast.
We are two gay girls living polar opposite lives on different sides of the country, here to talk shit and share with you our experiences between 20 and 30.
Welcome back to episode 39 of the Me For Her pod. The boys are back. We are back. We're giving the fans what they want. It has been too long between a Reets and Leigh shit-talking episode, so here you are.
Woohoo! I am so excited for you and I to be back, Reets. It's like the band's back together, except that they never parted, but it almost feels like it's been that long.
And I'm still not allowed in your state, but that's fine. We can look past that. Do you like my nail polish?
Wow. Yeah. What? Is it black?
It is black. I know I look quite emo. I'm reliving the emo days. It was a babysitting thing.
Very gothic. I thought so. I thought as such.
Yeah.
I did think as such.
It looked way worse, but there was a lot of nail polish remover involved to get them to this state. But anyway, how the hell have you been? Because honestly, it's hard to catch you these days. I only get like a 20-minute window while you're on the treadie.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, no, you're just as hard to catch. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I'm in a relationship. I'm working full time. I've got picnic dates. Like that's all we can do in Melbourne right now. So
yeah, that's a huge step. Yeah, good. Ollie's 6 months old. She's 6.5 months old, so she'll be 7 months at the end of the month, and that's just going so fast. I feel like with the first, I feel like you get so excited for each milestone that you sort of not wishing time away, but you're just like so keen to see them grow and develop. And then with the second, you're like, you know how fast it goes. So you're like, no, like slow down. Like, yeah, just I feel like she's a real little like baby still, obviously, but just she's sitting up, she's trying to crawl, she's just so interactive, she laughs, and it's just really tears in the heart because you're like, oh, if I don't have any more, like it's hard. But yeah, no, everything's good on my end. We're just trotting along, living in the most isolated city in the world, even more so now.
I know.
But
it's so cute to see you. You can tell that you and Tay are like so in love with Ollie. Like obviously we all know you love Oak, but it's just really cute to see photos and stuff. Like you're just obviously so loved up.
Like I am obsessed with her. Like, and I love. Like, I think it's just the fact that I'm more relaxed as a second-time mum now. When you're a first-time, speaking from experience and my experiences, when you're a first-time mum, like everything's so new, and I was really like anxious because I was like, oh my God, what like. Just everything stressed me out, I guess, like worrying because I'm a first-time mum, and people put fear in your head. Like you go to the child health nurse and your child's either too big or too small, or, you know, there's just so many things that people are like, oh, just watch out for this and watch out for that. So then you're always constantly watching out for things. And now this time around, I'm like, nah, my baby's my baby. She is who she is. I'm going to let her develop. Like I'm not going to stress about anything. Let nature take its course. Like obviously if there was any real alarm bells, but yeah, I just am so much more relaxed this time, and I think I'm able to enjoy the real little age more because I am more relaxed, and again because I know how fast it goes. But I am like, and she Oak, from the minute he was born, there was like he wasn't, I wouldn't say hard because he didn't, you know, have any of that typical like colic or anything like that, but he just was never chill. Like he wanted to move from the minute he was born. Like
he still ain't a chiller.
He's not like, unless he gets that time on the couch where he's watching something, and even then he doesn't want to watch it for very long. He wants to be working. I'm using quotation marks there, but he wants to always be on the go. Whereas Ollie is just so much more relaxed, and I can't believe like having Ollie now. I'm like, wow, it can be like this. Like this is how babies can be.
I just can't believe how much she looks like you. Like,
you reckon? Yeah,
literal dead ringer. Yeah, for sure.
She's definitely got my healthy thickness. I'm going to call it healthy.
She's got your thighs and calves.
My calves.
They're roly-poly and they're so cute. Every time I actually I plant photos of them in front of Caitlin so that she is a step closer.
It's partly why I send them. It's partly why I send them to you, babe. No, but I don't send them to many people, so you should feel very honoured. But No, we're doing well. Tay's about to head into like a really hectic season of work, which is there's pros and cons, as you know. And we're getting our house ready to sell.
Exciting
Yeah,
times.
Tay's taking from like Thursday to Thursday off or something, and she's going to just patch all the dents in the walls and rip our flooring up and stuff. So
Gosh, she's good at that shit.
she is totally. So I'm so lucky. But and then I don't know what our next move is, to be honest. We really don't know. So to be continued. Anyway, darling, how are you? Tell me. I mean, we do still chat, but tell everyone and me how you're going. How's your life? How's your love life? How's your work life? How's picnic life?
Picnic life is good, to be honest. Like, I think the last lockdown break, I overexerted myself socially. So I've only literally recently just started actively making plans with people because it's getting to the point now where we're all sort of itching to get out of lockdown. But yeah, picnic life is good. It's really nice. We can catch up in groups of 5 if you're vaccinated, which is nice. And yeah, so we've been seeing a little bit of Caitlin's friends, a little bit of my friends, going for a kick, and hopefully enjoy some greater freedoms in the weeks to come. We're all hanging for it. It's been a long, long time. I think the other week it was announced that Melbourne was like the greatest lockdown city or the longest city in the world. So definitely feeling it, but in like so hanging for summer, right? Like just so hanging for summer and to be able to travel again and stuff, which will be really nice. But Loved Up Life is fantastic. Caitlin and I almost at our 3-month anniversary. Aww. She
so cute.
She hasn't gotten the sick of me yet. I can't stop posting her on my Instagram because we're loved up in the love bubble and it's really cute. And to be honest, I've been a bit like, fuck, people must be getting over us. But everyone has been so lovely and saying how nice it is that we both look so happy, like our respective friends and also pod listeners who have like followed on the journey have just been like, it is so nice to see you so happy, which has been super like lovely to hear.
Well, I think that like part of our following is going to be like, oh my God, like I'm so happy for her. We've heard like her journey, like we're so stoked for her. And then a part of them are going to be like, no more funky stories now.
Well. That's your assumption, isn't it, Leigh? Just kidding, yes. Caitlin. I'm not going to share it. Nah, it's been really good. Love life has been really good. Work life has been quite hectic. I felt a little bit overwhelmed at times, but I had a really good chat with my boss just to work through that. I think the theme of that is like anyone in lockdown or anyone who's just, going through a lot, like talking about how you feel instead of just complaining about it. Like that's probably been a bit of a thing about me, and also having some self-compassion. Like we're in a fucking pandemic, lockdown. Of course, you're not going to be super productive. 8 hours of every day of every week and whatever. And if you need to exercise some flexibility and be kind to yourself and take some liberties here or there, then I've certainly started to practice that, and that's helped me a lot. And the other thing that I've done is really trying to switch off. In my line of work, it's sometimes hard to switch off from the players and what they need, but I've really tried to start to switch off on weekends, which has helped my productivity when I come in and turn my emails on and stuff on a Monday. So that's been nice.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, and I guess everyone can relate to that because, like, it's almost like when you're filling up your cup. It's like when I have a break from mum life, which is not often, but then when I do, I come back and I'm a better parent.
You're better.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna use that word because you feel so much more relaxed and calm and can take things on. Whereas when it's go for a long time, you're just drained. Like you're drained, and it's the same with anything, like you just said. And when you come back, you're like, okay, I'm ready to tackle this. And
so
it's
true.
like,
and I think with like most of my colleagues, like most of Melbourne, I should say, who's still working, would have taken holidays, like whether it was Easter or like, middle of the year or whatever, and no one's taking leave because we're locked down and can't go anywhere. So all of a sudden you've got this burnout of mental capacity, and then you have the guilt for not being as productive as you think your colleagues are. Like I'm sure everyone's in the same fucking boat. But it just got to a point where I was just like, I'm exhausted, and I took a day of leave, which, to be honest, probably should have been a mental health day, and then like I was still getting phone calls and stuff, and it made me really anxious. So that's why I ended up having a good chat to my boss and feel way better for it. So I think if anyone is feeling, and I've heard of people in my circles of feeling the same, overwhelm, burnout, anxiety. So if you are feeling that, if anyone's listening and can relate to any aspect of your life, whether or not you're in a lockdown, you're overworked, you're a mum, and you just need your time, which, Leigh, I know you can relate to, just talk to someone about it and see if you can do any baby steps to sort of help you cope and progress through it, I guess. That's my tidbit for the start of the pod.
Don't be ashamed to set boundaries either. Like,
so bloody true. That's the other thing I've started.
Capacity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Preach, girl. Preach, girl.
And you know where your limit is, and there's no point in going beyond that. And I sit here saying that, and I still find it so hard. But you know, we're all learning, we're all growing, and I think over the last 2 years, it's just shook everyone to their core. And I think a lot of people have learned a lot about themselves. And I think, I don't want to say when we come out of this and go back to normal, because I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah.
But when we come on the other side of whatever that looks like, I think a lot of people are actually going to really understand their limit more almost. They're going to have recognised it and been there more, and then they're going to go, okay, well, and one, life's too short, and two, like, nothing's as bad as year 2020 and 2021.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's a low bar, isn't it? 2022 is, tick over a day of sunshine, and we're pretty much already better than the last 2 years.
Well, you guys are coming, like, I feel like you've had your wave, right? And I feel like WA's is coming.
It's coming. I know.
So we'll see. Hopefully it's just not over Christmas.
No, surely not. Surely you'll get away with it. I mean, WA is pretty renowned for just being a slippery little sucker, and you fucking get the AFL granny.
Oh,
how you went?
That was fun for her. That was an epic time for her. I was a little bit sad that I didn't get to go, but it didn't take away from the fact that I was stoked for her. An experience.
Of course.
The ticket was way more than it should have been, but, experience. And, very happy for Perth. And I think that it was actually spoken about in one of the AFL shows that they were going to try and do, like, Melbourne has it every 4 years, but like the Olympics, so every other year they try and do it in different states, which I think is a cool idea if they can do. But I also really felt for the Melbourne supporters that couldn't have been at the grand final this year, especially the Melbourne, like, Demons supporters. But, Perth definitely loved having that. We loved having that little bit
You've just cashed up. You just won the lottery this year, honestly. If I could have picked a year, actually, I take that back because I wouldn't have met Caitlin, but if I could have picked a year that I would have lived in Perth, aside from Melbourne, like moved back for a year, it would be 2021. That's for fucking sure.
You remember when we thought we were just going to wake up to 2021 and everything was going to be back to normal?
Yeah, look, that dream for me was slowly swallowed when I had to come back on fucking New Year's Eve or whatever it was, New Year's Day, because they fucking changed the laws and I had to come back with you guys and, nightmare. Anyways, I thought we could chat a little bit about the conversation we had when you were on your way to Peaches, because we both thought that it was going to be really relatable to everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Well, basically, long story short, Tay and I just had a week where it was just, I was super tired. She was super tired. She obviously runs her own business. Well, she has a business partner, but they run it together and it's tiring. And I have 2 small children, and just life. I think also because we're trying to get our house ready to sell, which we're in no rush to do, but I just think everything, just accumulated. There was a lot going on. And we just were like, this is a terrible week. Like, we're not having a good week. And I think it's just so important for us to talk about that on the podcast, because as much as I don't think I talk a lot about Taylor and I don't know, maybe I do, I never want to perceive it to be, rainbows and butterflies all the time, because it definitely
perfect marriage.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And this week was really, really tough. And, we had and communication was at a low because Tay had like really long days and I was really tired, and it just felt like we were just trying to survive that week. And and I remember when we had Oak and we were about 3 months into his life and our house was ready. And again, so another stress, we were trying to move into a house and we were at the same point. It was like a real just tough time for us as a couple. And I just want to touch on that because I just remember thinking like, this is a real low point for us. Like we've got to really try and work together here to figure out how we get out of this, because we know we both don't want to, ever give up on our marriage unless, and to be honest, like if we both got to that point and we thought it was for the best, like we would, like I wouldn't even use the term giving up. I would just say making the best decision for our family. But when we weren't at that point, neither of us wanted that. And we both had to look at it and go, what's going on here? What role am I playing? What role can I be playing? Like, where can we go from here? And I think on reflection, like, and without going too far into it, I think, there's things you and I believe about like cyclical stuff and things that we inherit from our family line.
Ancestral trauma and stuff.
Yes, exactly. And we could maybe do an episode on that. I don't know. But I think I've got a lot of things that I need to probably which I've identified now, but I've identified it. I need to sort of work on it. Yeah. And whether that's with like a therapist or a kinesiologist or what sort of avenue I take, I've identified it and I need to sort of take steps to now. So, normally and look, Tay and I don't get to this point often, but when we get to points in our relationship where we're like, okay, there's a kink, we're both sort of equally trying to figure out where we can, but I think this time a lot of it was my shit that I'm bringing that Taylor's not even doing.
So just for the benefit of the audience, so Taylor came to you and said, hey, I'm feeling underappreciated. Is that sort of?
She sort of said like, I feel like, basically in short. And I said, at first I almost went to jump to defense because I was like, I feel like I try my best to show you how much we appreciate what you do for us. But I was like, but I can't, like she's feeling this way. I need to just shut up. And then I took it on and I really just thought like, I know there's been times where I felt underappreciated and it's not nice because we both work hard. I'm at home and she's at work. And then I just sat back and then we had a real big chat about it at the end of the week, like after I had time to really think about it. And I just like apologized and said that I think it's because of X, Y, Z. And I wasn't placing blame. I was just saying I think I'm really struggling with certain things because of, again, it's too long to go into, but basically just issues I think I have with my dad and the way he parented. And I'm sort of bringing it to and creating a standard of parenting that is like completely unattainable because I live in fear of parenting with someone like my dad, even though Taylor is literally the greatest parent. And I know that.
And such a hard worker too.
And she is, totally. And I think I live in fear of being with someone like my dad who was not around so much, and I just always want to keep her at a standard, and so that's, to put it in short, there's much more to it than that. So I just took a step back and I was like, look, I sort of think I need to go sort this out so it doesn't affect us going forward. But I don't know, that might not make sense to a lot of people, but it's just too long for me to go into. But the point of my story is that like no relationship's perfect. Ours definitely isn't. But if you both know you don't want your relationship to end, then do the work, like it's like anything. And we're in a different season of our life. We were, when we didn't have kids, it was a different season. Then we had one kid and now we've got 2 kids, and it's all about just growing with the changes in your life. And that's how we look at it. And I think, we're both pretty positive about it. And we know that, the worst case scenario is that we separate, which is not an option for us right now. It's not what we want. So, yeah, going forward, we're definitely just going to, again, keep communicating like we normally do and evolving with our life.
I just think, like, I remember thinking when you were telling me that it's just so admirable that you guys can acknowledge that things don't feel good. Like, we've all been in kinks in our lives, whether that's with friendships or with work or in relationships. And when things don't feel like smooth and happy and lovey and whatever, right? Call it a kink. And the reference that we keep talking about is a kink in your hose, which is a sort of phrase coined by Leigh's sister, Peter, in her book, Earth is Hiring, I think. But I think it's so admirable that you guys can acknowledge that, okay, shit, things haven't been good for, say, a week or whatever, and you guys call each other out on it or say, you know, let's have a chat. Things haven't been good. What can you do? This is how I feel. You know, I want to hear how you feel. What can I do to help? Like, I don't know how many relationships do that. Like, I think that's amazing. Like, as uncomfortable as it is, that's the only way that you can move past that uncomfortable kink, right?
Totally. And I think, like, on reflection, and I think this is just, like, I felt really quite proud of myself because Taylor has always been quite good at reflecting on her own behaviour. And I think for me this time, I sort of took more responsibility at the end of the week after we had some time to think about things. I took more responsibility and you know, that's, and I'm not, like, I wouldn't say that I won't admit when I'm wrong, but for me to take more responsibility and say that I think it's my shit, like, that was so huge for me. And it just, I felt quite good within myself. I didn't sit back and go, oh my God, I'm a lord. Like, I did then go, but you've still got the issue. You're still creating an issue. But I was just proud that I was able to acknowledge that maybe I was contributing more to the situation, and that I was placing standards on Taylor that were not attainable because I live in fear of parenting with someone who's not around. And, you know, Taylor, that's not the reality.
No,
so
not at all.
I went away from it and I was like, do you know what? Like, yes, I do need to go sort this out. It's shit that I'm carrying. And I spoke to my sister about it, who helped me a lot in actually acknowledging it and realising it. And I've now gone, okay, and I have actually got the number of someone that I'm going to contact from a friend, and I just need to deal with it. But, you know, Reets, like, I think you and I have done a bit of work on ourselves, and I think I'm fit now. And if I can't put ego and, you know, stubbornness aside in my marriage with someone I've got 2 children with, that's on me. Like, that's my fuck up. Like, if I can't, you know, register and acknowledge my flaws, I guess, then that's on me. Like, that's going to only affect me negatively in the long run, because if I went through my whole marriage thinking I was perfect and I never did anything wrong, it's probably inevitably, unless I'm with someone who just wants to be walked all over, which Taylor doesn't, it's going to end. And then the next person I'm with isn't going to cop that either. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to put up with that long term. No one is going to put up with that long term. And nobody wants to be with someone who can't take responsibility for their shit. And I think in the first few years of my relationship with Taya, I didn't, to be honest. And yeah, I just think growth, but also it's hard. It's not fucking easy to admit, you know, your shit, and especially when it's stuff you don't want to deal with. But I have to.
I think it's massive. I think, like, you've nailed it. Like, self-reflection and communication are really important. You and Tay are lucky that you've got that in spades. I mean, I can't super relate because I'm not in a 8-year marriage. How long have you guys been married for? It feels like forever. 8-year relationship.
We've been married 4 years in December, actually. So nearly 4 years married, 8.5 years together.
Yeah, 8.5 years together. So that's massive. And I think, like, it's funny because Caitlin thinks I've got a complex about it, but I always talk about the future of as if, like, sort of like our honeymoon phase will end, and, like, you know, we're going to go through conflict and stuff. And it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that I believe that that's what's going to happen to us because it happens to everyone. And, like, it's this complex, and I keep talking as if like, oh, we're going to go through shit. We're going to get sick of each other. We're going to go through the bumps and downs because that's what a relationship is. But I almost think that I'm projecting that, onto our future.
I think you can just live in it and know that, every relationship is going to have, its ups and downs, but you don't need to talk about it all the time. You don't need to plan it. You don't need to prepare for it. You just need to, I think if you've got
I'm a planner.
I know you are, but I think if you establish good communication and respect and from the beginning, then you're going to be able to get through them.
That's so true.
You have ups and downs with our friendships had ups and downs. We've had moments where we've not spoke as much for long, and then so it's just whether or not you have that mutual respect and mutual open communication. And you and Caitlin have established that from the beginning. So you're going to come up against tough times. Like it's like that's life.
It's inevitable.
But you guys met in a lockdown, so.
Well, you're not wrong. Like the only time that I've, like I spoke about earlier, like work was sort of really affecting me. I was quite stressed, and I noticed myself, and it was probably around that time of the month too. I noticed myself like about to snap at something like not her fault. Yeah, like we. It's so funny to think about now. We were house sitting and something was going on with work. Oh yeah, fucking of course. It was the day that Melbourne had the earthquake, because of course we fucking had an earthquake, because like we haven't gone through enough.
Yeah.
So work stress was happening. I was doing a presentation for work and I fucked up the acknowledgement of country.
Oh damn!
I swore in it. Like I was just like, oh fuck, what do I say? Like I butchered it. Like now I've got notes, thank God. So I don't disrespect that, because obviously that's a really serious thing, and I don't make light of it. But it was just hilarious for everyone watching, because I literally sweared my way through the acknowledgement of country. Anyways, and so I finished this presentation. The earthquake happened. I was stressed, and then like Caitlin left the house and forgot to get keys, so she was like knocking at the door while I was in this meeting, and like I felt myself like about to snap, and it wasn't her fault. Like we got the keys, it's not a big deal. She didn't make the earthquake happen, and so when I finished my meeting and she came back inside, I just told her, I was like, I just need to go for a walk. And she's like, are you okay? Do you need anything? I said, no, I just need to go for a walk. I'm just feeling stressed and I need to walk it off, because I was going to take it out on her and she didn't deserve that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's also human emotions. And when you get to that point and it's something that stresses you out like that, and it also was in a work meeting, I just think it's so normal for us to have those feelings and get that stress, but it's how you then deal with it, like you just said. And I think that anyone else, again, it's boiling point. Everyone has their moments, but I think it's the more you acknowledge it and the more you can recognize it, the easier and better it's going to be each time. Do you know what I mean?
So true. And she said to me,
you're a human being.
Well, that's the thing. And I said to her, I was like, I'm so sorry for being grumpy or whatever. Or grumpy or whatever it was, and she was just like, you communicated to me what you needed, like that, I can't ask for more than that, so I think communication is definitely key for
and
sure.
Don't forget your keys again. That's it.
And don't fucking forget your keys, or else. Can you believe that it's been 1 year of Me for Her?
I know. 1 year since Me for Her started. That's crazy. It's in some ways it feels longer, but then in other ways I can't believe it's been a year.
Well, we're almost at 40 episodes, which is, that to me is more scary than 1 year, because 40, what I remember when we were talking about creating this podcast, we were like, okay, so we've got when we knew we were gay, coming out, and your birth story, and we're like, what else are we going to talk about? I know. It is so funny to me that we have published fucking 40 episodes to our community, and we obviously now, of talking shit, and also we have quite a loyal following now, which is brilliant, and it's not just in Australia where we know people. So when our ratings and sort of audience grew, I think we had a penny drop moment where we were like, holy shit, we can understand that our circles of friends in Melbourne and Perth and maybe like their friends listen to our podcast. We understand that's sort of the lesbian community and how it works. But the fact that absolute strangers are finding our pod, like, that is mind-blowing.
And I love that for us, though. People love hearing us talk crap.
I actually love the fact that we're interviewing queer members of our community on their experiences. That's probably something that I'm most proud of with this podcast, because that is something that wasn't present when I was looking for an Aussie podcast. And that's something that we're bringing to the community.
That's what got us kick-started, isn't it? Is your desire to listen to a gay podcast in Australia. So you just created one.
I just fucking created one. What a fucking genius.
All right. Okay, let's carry on.
The Bachelorette.
Are we going to do that?
Yeah. We're going to do that. Why are we going to do that, Leigh?
Well, because you try to get on the show. And they said, no bueno.
I got axed. And thank God I didn't make it past that first audition, because I wouldn't have met Caitlin.
Yes. Unless she had gone on too, and then you could have met me.
She was not going to go on to The Bachelorette. But no, it was an interesting experience, but I cannot wait to watch it when it airs next Wednesday, October 20th. 100%. Me, my whole house holder going to watch it. We're going to throw a watch party. I just hope, for the love of the queer community, there is fair, diverse representation of the queer community, because that is my big worry and big fear.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, we're not trying to label here, but if they've just got all female, very feminine looking lesbians, then I think what they're trying to do is create drama within the house of the men and the women then intertwining and hooking up, which could happen with any female, I guess. But do you know what I mean? Like creating stories
100%.
within the story. And I just don't put it past it. I think they're going to try to create, drama.
No drama. You don't want no drama. No one can see you doing the robot.
Well, we should get a recording.
I have intel on a specific cast member. And I want to make this very clear that this had nothing to do with my audition. This was through a connection because they released some footage of the contestants, yeah? And I recognised someone and had a conversation with an old schoolmate about one of the cast members, and allegedly she had been in a relationship with a woman. So that to me is alarm bells. If someone hasn't been in a relationship with a female and they're casted as a bisexual or lesbian, I'm worried that they are not there for the wrong reasons.
Everyone goes on these shows for Instagram fame, don't they?
Excuse me, your sister went on that one.
Yeah, she didn't, I don't know if she went on necessarily for Instagram fame, but I think that people, I shouldn't just say for Instagram fame, but they just go on for a bit of fun. I don't think most people go on to actually find love. I just don't know.
Excuse me, I was going on to find love.
Oh, yeah, but you're the only person in Australia that did.
And I don't Brooke seems lovely, but you said to me at the time that I was auditioning that you don't think that we would, you couldn't see us together, hey?
No, not. I mean, I know Brooke from playing footy with her in Perth, but I'm not her best mate. I just, I wouldn't put you two together.
Well, I wouldn't either. Thank
Clearly.
God I met Caitlin Bunker. She's the ultimate bachelorette, of Australia.
Let's just
Can you tell I'm in love?
Let's just kick on to Am I the Arsehole, because I fear we're going to run out of time.
Let's keep talking about my girlfriend Caitlin, because I love her so much.
Are you drunk?
I'm not. I'm just drunk on love.
We know, and we love that
Tom
for you.
Cruise couch moment. Okay,
we do love that.
Am I the arsehole?
Me for her is. Do you want to kick us off? Okay. All right. Am I the arsehole for wanting to hang out with just my friend and not their partner?
Do you want to know my personal opinion?
Yep, obviously.
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. This is my example because it happened to me when I was single and someone wrote in and wrote a version of this, okay? So I'm going to use an example of like me being a female and having male friends. I really enjoy my one-on-one catch-ups with my male friends and I like their partners, but do I want to hang out with them and their female partners all the time? Especially if me and said friend are only catching up once in a blue moon? No, I don't. I want to just hang out with my male friend, sorry, I'm confusing everyone, and not their partner because I want to know how their relationship is going. I want to talk about their partner and I just want it to us be like us blokey mates having like, a catch up.
Yeah.
But you have been in a relationship for a long time, so I want to know your side of the coin.
Look, I just think it all depends on the dynamic of the friendship. I think that if you're super close or you have a certain relationship with a friend and you and the friend and you and the partner, your friend's partner aren't that close, don't have a lot in common, don't have much to talk about, just want to hang out with your friend. If you sort of get along with like both of them as equally as you do the other and you're happy to talk about whatever in front of both of them, whatever, like who cares? But I think if you have a certain relationship with your friend and you want to talk to them without the partner there, you're well within your rights to just be like, hey, can we just catch up? Like it's nothing against your partner, but there's certain things that maybe I want to talk to you about or that I wouldn't talk to your partner about, and we all... They're probably going to go home and tell their partner, but it's not.
Yeah, of course. It's not the point at all.
But I guess like now that Taylor and I are married and even like a few years into our relationship, I wouldn't have been offended. Like I don't think anyone would have flat out said like, can you come without Tay? But I had heaps of friends from the gym and from soccer or football, whatever, that I just hung out with just myself and vice versa.
And just like Tay hung out with her friends.
Yeah, and it's the same now, but I just definitely, I don't think there's a problem with it. I think if you're friends with like both of them, then that's probably a bit weird, but and it depends on the situation. Like if your friend's partner is busy and you don't want to then find a time that they can join, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you were just like, okay, well, too bad. We'll just catch up. I don't think there's anything.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, but what if the partner wasn't busy? Like, I still don't want her to come, even if she's free. Like, I'm sorry, but
again, exactly. That's the dynamic of the friendship, and you should just be able to say, "Hey, like, there's things can it just be me and you because I sort of want to chat about things that I don't want to talk about in front of your partner." Or, I think when you message a friend just saying, "Hey, mate, like, when can we catch up?" I think unless like you say the partner, like is it not just assumed that you just want to catch up with them?
Lesbians do this all the time. They're just like, oh yeah, we're available this date. They literally rope in their other half. They do it all the time. Okay. I know we're talking about male partners in this example, but it's happened to me in other situations with a partner too. And don't get me wrong, I could be very good friends with said partner, but just want to hang out with one person. Like, what if they're struggling? It actually does my head in. So Caitlin and I discuss this, and it's not going to I don't care if she hangs out with her friends, my friends, one-on-one. I think that's healthy, you know?
I totally don't think there is a problem with it at all, to be honest. I've just thought about it, and I just think that, like, why do you're two separate people. Like, you're two separate, just because you're in a relationship. Like, I just want to hang out with just you. I just want to see just you. Like, I get you're in a relationship, but you're still two separate people. And like, all due respect to your partner, I don't know. People are probably listening, going, my partner has to come with me. Like,
she's my best friend.
Yeah, like, does she have to, or does he?
Well, this has happened to a straight female friend of mine who has a straight male friend, and I always say to her, because she says, like, her and the girlfriend aren't best friends. They get along. But I always say to her that she needs to say to her male friend, if I was a guy, you wouldn't be bringing along your missus, because it's fucking true. If there were two blokes one bloke would never say, I don't know why I'm saying bloke and pretending like they're really bogan guys, but if there were two males, one wouldn't just bring along their partner. I think that would be more rare than if it was a female friend with a male with a girlfriend or with lesbians. It's just like we take the piss out of each other. I don't know why.
Well, Sean, my little sister, has got she's actually got a lot of
heaps of guy friends.
And she's got a lot of guy friends, right? Yeah. And it's so funny, the amount of guy friends that then get into relationships and their partners actually make them like unfollow my little sister on Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. I could see that. Yep.
Like, that's so fucked up. Like, Sean's a very confident, she's got a very nice body that she's worked hard for. And she posts bikini
boobs
pics.
Are out
like
there.
She does.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't say her boobs are out there, but she posts bikini pics and like sports bra pics. But
yeah,
you know, she does it because
but that's just Sean.
In the fitness industry.
She's not chasing dick.
No, she's definitely not. She's so happy being single, but also she's in the fitness industry, so she posts a lot of workout videos in, like, you've seen, and she's not doing it for male attention. But these girls make their partners unfollow. And my opinion is, and probably people can disagree with me, I think if your partner has to unfollow girls, then like that's your issue. Like, that's on you.
100% it is projecting.
Girls in bikinis in their life. Like, are you going to stop them from going to the beach in summer? I don't know. I just think making your partner unfollow really anyone.
Well, that's probably like an Am I the Arsehole in itself, because in the last Am I the Arsehole, episode 8, we spoke about, you know, if you go to a party and, you know, your partner's not there but someone that they makes you feel uncomfortable is there or whatever, like, you would respect what your partner wanted. But I think the whole Instagram following thing, one, is talking to your own insecurities, but two, like, it's just, if you're in the right relationship, do you really have to be doing that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So it's circumstantial as well. If that person, like, had done something terrible to you, like, you could be like, hey, like, why are you engaging with that person? I'd understand that a little bit more than just because they post in their bikinis. I don't know. I actually asked friends of ours that are married and they're straight. I said, if you saw your husband liking a chick's bikini pics, like, would you be offended? And they were like, I wouldn't want him liking it, but I don't care that he has that on his feed. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get that.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, each to their own though.
Do you know what's funny though? Also, as lesbians, like, assumption here that you're comfortable with this, because I think I'm pretty sure that you are. We are fine with our partners catching up with other gay people, right? Other lesbians that they're friends with or whatever. But some heterosexual partners feel that it's weird if their significant other catches up with a person of the opposite sex, right?
Well, it's because our best friends, well, typically a lot of our best friends and closest friends are females as well. So it's hard to draw that line. But I know that Taylor, like, to be honest, I just trust Taylor wholeheartedly, and there's not a single person on this planet that I wouldn't want her to be around for that reason.
True.
Again, if someone had done something really, really horrible to me and she decided to go hang out with them, I'd probably be a bit funny about that. But Taylor could literally go hang out with anyone and I wouldn't be worried.
And I think that's a key right there. If you have to second guess your partner around anyone, irrespective of their sexual orientation, are you with the right partner?
Yeah.
Are you with the right partner?
Yeah.
That's my conclusion to that story. Okay, my turn. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. You haven't lived with housemates for a while. I acknowledge this. And the last housemate you did live with was Claire Dunn. So maybe a bit different, but am I the asshole for having sex whenever I want when I live with housemates and I have thin walls? Because it's come up in my household, not necessarily directed at me and Caitlin, but it's come up, someone else has asked almost, not permission, but like, is it okay if this happens? And like, let me know if it's too loud type thing or whatever. And something was posted in our house chat being like, oh, I find that like if the TV's on really loud, like I can't notice. And for me, I just feel like as a 32-year-old person in a relationship, like I should not have to ask for permission or talk about or consider when I'm going to be intimate with my partner for the like. Do you know what I mean? I know you're shaking your head, but am I the arsehole? I don't know. Tell me.
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. You're an adult, like you said. And I mean, look, if you're being really, really loud, like having really loud sex for like the whole night, yeah,
No.
maybe. But like, I'm sure you're not being super loud for like 8 hours. I mean, I don't know. You're fresh in your relationship, so maybe. But I just think, like, how long?
No, I'm kidding.
How long could it be loud for? Do you know what I mean? Like, how long? And I just think you're an adult, and how, like, you're in your own bed, you're in your own house, you're in your own room. Like, you're not doing it in the fucking lounge room with them there. Like, I just think you're being as respectful as you can be. But no, I don't think you're the asshole at all.
Well, I just think it's a part of life. Like, why is it such taboo? Like, almost everyone is engaged in sexual activities. I get it. I know what it's like to be the single person in a house when someone else is getting some, and it is uncomfortable, but you just have to deal with it. That's what you get from living in a share house, right?
I don't think you're the asshole at all.
Okay, good to know. Thanks for that validation.
Do you think, am I the asshole for being in a bed with a girl but pretending to be asleep because I wasn't feeling it? Obviously, this situation isn't relevant to my life right now.
Taylor.
We're just talking about, like, in general.
That one actually came through the DMs, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure I've done that in my younger gay years.
100%. And I
so
do not
no,
think
you were not the arsehole.
I do not think we are either. I think it's better than being like, hey, nah, not keen, no bueno, get out, or me get out, because that's harsh, but also probably fair. It's probably better to do that, to be honest. But
that's what I was thinking.
Because you try not to hurt someone's feelings, and you just don't know how it's going to go. But like. No, I don't think so. I think if you like did it a few times to the same person, probably, but I think just once to avoid doing something you don't want to do. Just sneaky dog. Sneaky dog asleep.
I actually think Kylie Nicolacci did this in that night of the shaver night.
Oh, yeah. She absolutely, Kylie. I love Kylie, by the way. We've had a few Instagram exchanges over the last couple of months, and I just think she's
Kylie.
Fucking hilarious. We should get her on. Honestly, it's about time.
We should get her on the pod.
We should. You're not wrong. We have spoke about her. She's pod famous.
She is pod famous.
We need to get her on the podcast. I love her.
Get her on. I will. But no, just to add to that, I think there is a larger issue at play. And it's something that we touched on in the sex and sexuality episodes, which, to be fair, you couldn't make it for those episodes. But talking about what you want and what you don't want in the bedroom is really important. And I know that in this instance, this person, as did you and I in our separate experiences, probably just didn't want to hurt the other people's feelings. But I think it's really important to start to talk about what you want and what you don't want. In any setting, but especially in a physical, intimate setting. And I think it's almost like a female default, like, oh, we don't want to speak up, we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It's rude to ask for what we want, or you know what I mean? And like, I think we need to stop that.
But what you could want is for the person to just get the fuck out of the bed, honestly. It might not be a matter of you don't think they could give you what you want. It's that you don't want to do it with them. You don't want that intimacy with that person, regardless of how good it may be. You don't want to do that with them. And it's very awkward, especially if you're a bit drunk or really tired, or you've made it seem like you're going to go there to then just roll out of the bed subtly and not be there anymore, especially if you're in the same house and you've got nowhere to go. You just fall asleep, because that can happen. You could just fall asleep.
You could, or you could also just say, hey, that's not really working for me. Good night.
You can
Lucky neither of us have that problem.
Hey, I've just ordered you an Uber. Oh, you didn't want it? Oh, well, it's coming anyway. I've already paid for it. See you. I have one for you. Okay, I know I just did one, but I have one for you.
Okay, no, go for it.
Okay.
I'm liking this.
This is very different to the ones we've just done, but I'm a mum, so whatever. Okay, so your partner has just given birth to your second child, and
sounds familiar.
Long story. No. Okay. This is
Wink.
Absolutely. When you hear the rest.
Okay,
of the story,
Leigh, good one.
when you hear the rest of the story, you'll know it wasn't. It's not Taylor because she.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a reason, but long story short, this partner, the father, it was actually a male-female couple. The father only got 9 days off, right, from when the mother had given birth. 2 of those days they had to do online training modules for work. So they were given extra 2 days at home from work, but they had to do training modules in that time. So really it's like 7 days, but 2 at home, whatever. Am I the arsehole? And I already have my answer. You already know what my answer is going to be. For going fishing from 5 to 5, one of those 7 days at home.
Oh, yes, you are.
100%. And do you know what's so funny is, like, I've had this conversation with a few people, my little sister being one of them, and she hasn't had kids, and she's like, I can sort of see it from both sides. I'm like, fuck right off.
What the fuck does someone do on a boat for 12 hours?
Oh, I don't know if they're actually fishing for that long, but they left at 5, got home at 5.
Wow. No.
Right?
No, that is so not okay on so many. It doesn't matter your gender. It does not matter your gender.
No. Not at all. Not at all. I was just saying it was a male. It does not matter at all. If Taylor had done that, she would be homeless.
I know.
Like, your partner has just given birth to your second child. Like, they're not fucking off for 12 hours,
are they? What did the partner think?
Off it, completely off it. Not happy at all. But didn't want to. Too tired, sort of. Wow, that's how angry you are. But
just knocked my microphone off. Yep.
And my little sister was like, but it's their time off too. And I'm like, the fucking kid's just been born.
No,
mate.
It's not annual leave. I can understand, like, I'm all for, giving liberties and whatever, and
go to the gym for an hour. Go to the gym for an hour. Like,
okay, not 12 hours. I would say okay, you're right. It's a week after the birth. No, not even.
Why do you want to be away?
Yep.
You've also got another, and like, I put myself in that position because the reason Tay took 3 weeks, she was going to take 4, but we actually, we decided together actually that it was better she went back to work because I can't handle how she can't sit still. So she actually went back to work after 3 weeks, but which has worked out well because next week she's taking that 4th week she was going to take to be home and get the house ready. Anyway.
Oh, cool.
But I can relate to the fact that Oak needed her home in that time. Oak did.
Yeah.
Like, Ollie,
so true.
Ollie couldn't have given a fuck.
She just wanted your boob.
It's important, yeah. It's important, I guess, for the bonding, as soon as Ollie's born, for Taylor and her to be around. But it was essentially for the older child. And so I put myself in this position and I'm like, I would have been so fucking off it because I would have not only just had a baby and be recovering myself, but then I've got a toddler as well. And you can sit there and go, arsehole.
I want to clarify that I've got no issues with the 1 hour gym escape. That is fine and great for mental health and whatever. What I was thinking in my head is like a compromise on the 12-hour fishing. And I was thinking in my head, maybe 3 hours of golf, but no, not in the first week.
No.
That is not okay.
No, you're never going to get that week back. And how the fuck do you think the mum, where does she get a 3-hour bloody golf?
Yes.
You've got so many opportunities to go play golf and go play fishing, go do fishing, but you're never going to get that week back ever again. Your child is never going to be that little ever again. That you're never going to get that. It's such a sacred time. It's the first week of your child's life, and fishing's always going to fucking be there. So I was just like, whoa. I got an eye twitch hearing about it. I was like, holy shit, Taylor would be homeless.
So would Caitlin, put it that way.
Yeah. Well, you are going to carry first, and then she's going to carry second. So technically, be
Correct.
you leaving.
That's true. That's a good shout. Well, note to self, babe. This could be a drinking game. How many times does Reets mention Caitlin in a podcast episode?
Well, if I drank, I would be on the floor paralytic right now.
Lols on ya. Well, that was great.
Loved that episode.
Little hour-y episode for our potty fans. We got a bit D&M-y in that. A bit deep and meaningful.
I wasn't expecting that, but it's good. It's nice. We've got to be real, don't we?
100%. Keep it real. Love that. Well, it's been nice chatting to you all.
With you all. Just me.
Just to you, Leigh, babes.
And shout out to one of our good friends who listens also, Bao. She just bought a house with her girlfriend, and we love that for them. I actually don't even know where it is. I need to ask her.
Fucking love Bao and Nick. Oh my God, them. They gave me life. I can't believe that they're going to reno the shit out of that. Actually, I can, and I'm jealous.
Can believe it. I can. But although they did reno Nick's Cairo space, and
yes,
they didn't love all of that, but I think they loved the concept of renovating. I just don't think they loved doing that space.
I love the concept of renovating, and I told my mum that, I would love to do that with Caitlin one day, and she was like, you're not really handy on the tools. And I was like, I'm a project manager, okay? And I'll watch YouTube videos and give it a crack.
No, I definitely couldn't. I'm very lucky that I have Taylor, because I couldn't. Some people just don't have it, babe. They just don't.
You're not built for the tools, babe.
No,
but I think I can give it a go.
Okay. Well,
she's only saying that because I didn't help with her backyard renovation when I was like 18 and 19 going out.
She's salty.
She's fucking salty as Teresa. Gotta love her. All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. And remember, follow us at Me For Her Pod and give us a like and subscribe. We love you all. Peace and light. I got that wrong. I know I did.
A like?
A like? I mean, a follow. A follow. Well, like our shit. Like our shit anyway.
Like our shit. Love our shit.
And Kylie Nicolacci, if you're listening, this is an official invite to come on the pod.
See you next week, guys.
See you,
bye.